Hello? Is that music? I'd better take a look. Is that someone playing a music box? What the? How can there be a door there? I'd hardly taken a step forward when I heard the door close behind me. When I turned around, the door wasn't there anymore, and all that was left of it was a strange shadow on the wall. I searched. I despaired. And I screamed until my throat began to burn. The candles started to run out, as did the batteries in my torch. From within the most suffocating darkness, the hours went by, until turning into days, and I began to fall in and out of a restless sleep. I would hear voices, sometimes right next to me, other times a few yards away. It seemed like they were coming from the other side of the wall. Desperate cries, howling in horror. And sometimes, the worst of all, a vast, oppressive silence would fall, seeming to emanate from everywhere and nowhere all at once. There was nobody there, just hallucinations, nightmares, black nothingness, and the song from that music box. Trapped in this impossible place, I wondered if I was going to die there.
Hello guys, welcome. You're watching Headset VR. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to a brand new gaming video. Now today I'm going to be playing a game that I've played on this channel before. This is Song of Horror, and we're going to be playing it in UEVR. Now you probably might be wondering, hang on, wasn't he doing the best of UEVR? Well, yeah, I am doing the best of UEVR, but I'm also playing some of my favourite games in UEVR that I think are just amazing experiences. Now, I've had the opportunity to test out a brand new profile of this game that has left me absolutely gobsmacked. Now, if you've seen this game before, it's third person, fixed camera angles, that kind of thing. Pretty good game, but not really the best transition into VR. But it is a very good game, and it's very underrated and has probably slipped under a lot of people's radars. As you can see just by the Steam reviews, 1800, very positive Steam reviews. Not very popular, probably wasn't marketed very much. You know, it's not really for me to say. I've not really had a chance to play loads of it, but it is a game I've always wanted to come back to. And today, I was given the carrot to come and play back. So today, we're going to play some of this unique horror game. And the significance of playing this in UEVR is because of how amazing this profile is. This has been created by a modder called Megiddo. He was also responsible for the Tormented Souls 2 profile you may have seen quite recently on the channel, which is also one of my favourite games in UEVR. So if you were impressed by that, stick around. You will be impressed by this. Now, there is a brand new version of UEVR available to download. So if you go to Praydog's GitHub page, and the link is as usual in the description, you will get UEVR Nightly 11.25. This is, at the time of recording, there may be an later version. Anyway, we're going to go into some of this game. We're going to dive right in, and you are going to see why I was blown away by this profile. I was completely gobsmacked by how great this is. So anyway, stick around. Let's get round to it. Okay, right, so the game has started. I'm just going to give a basic setup guide very quickly. Assuming you have the most recent version of UEVR Nightly, we'll pull that up. Do not restart as administrator. What you do if you have played the game before, this will help, is you look and see in the global dir if you have any previous files for Song of Horror. As you can see here, I don't actually have any, but if there are any, just right click on it and delete it. Anyway, let's import the config. So I've downloaded a brand new profile, which is just here, and click on that in the location you've downloaded to. Hit the open button. A window will pop up. Just minimize that down for now. And where it says inject here, there should be a little arrow, and if you hit that, you can change it to the name of the game. Now, I'm going to play this in OpenXR. It has automatically started there as OpenVR, so do be mindful that you are using the correct rendering method for this. Right, so if I just show through some of the settings, I'm done now in the game. Now, I always disable this toggle personally. These are my preferences, and I'm going to up the resolution a little bit here in the headset. I only usually put it about 1.5. Like I said, these are all optional settings. It is something that is totally up to you, but as this is a slightly older game, feel free to crank the settings up. I've cranked the settings up quite a bit as well myself personally. And if we just go through and make sure some of these settings are okay. Now, you're free to put your own keybinds in. I do usually put my own keybinds in these kind of games. In fact, with a lot of these games, some of these buttons, they may not be useful, but sometimes it comes in handy. Having the option to disable VR, for example, which we'll get to in just a moment. So make sure everything is all good. And if we go down here in the Song of Horror VR, you can see a couple of settings, like you can mess around with the speed that you walk, the speed that you turn, strafing speed, etc. And I think that's pretty much everything you can do in there. If you want to see everything I've just gone through, just pause it, the video, and go back. But hey presto, what has happened? We are now in VR. Okay, so what I'm going to do, there's some of the features of this mod. I'm just going to list down the screen of the video just here, rather than me going on about them too much, but there are some great little things that we can do in here. Okay, so first of all, as you can see, we have got VR hands, which is amazing. And as you probably noticed, well, hang on, he hasn't even mentioned the fact that we're in first person. Yes, we're completely in first person. I had a chat with Megiddo about this game after talking about Tormented Souls 2 and suggested maybe have a look at this game and see what you can do with this. And although maybe the hands are perhaps a little bit large, I mean, if I reach out, You know, they do seem at a reasonable distance, although maybe slightly large in the headset. But that doesn't particularly worry me too much, personally. You know, I'm just happy to be able to play a game like this in first person. It's completely and utterly awesome, and is exactly something that I've wanted. So let's just briefly go through this door. Oh. What the fuck? Oh! Okay, why did I want this game doing in first person for? Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Okay, well that's a little bit of a traumatic start. I've barely got anywhere and I'm already shitting me pants. Okay, right, so as I've been trying to say, I'm just going to mention a couple of the things that come with this mod, apart from a whole heap of scares. This game is going to be far more scary than what it is already at the start. So obviously, as we can see, we get first person immersion mode. So basically everything is, as you can clearly see, in first person, which is, well, pretty obvious. We got functional hands and the D-pad on the controller. So let's just mess about with that. Right, so as you've just saw there, if you've got a Quest 3 and you have this setting on the input, D-pad shifting, right thumb rest and left joystick. If you haven't got that setting, you can potentially use gesture head, left or right stick. But we're just going to talk about the right thumb rest for now. So what that basically does, if you've got a Quest 3, then this is the good option to use. If you have something else, like say the PSVR 2 with the adapter, you can use the gesture setting. Basically what the gesture setting will be is if you hold your controller up by your head and with the left or the right hand, whichever you've selected, and when it vibrates, you can then press a desired direction on the little joystick, and that emulates the D-pad on a gamepad. So we're using
holy shit!
nothing worse than a rude phantom. Trying to explain how the mod works, you bastard! Fucking thing.
Oh, the lights have come back on.
Right.
That's better.
Okay, as I was trying to say before I had the willies, we're using a Quest 3. Well, I'm using a Quest 3, not we. There's only me here, unfortunately. I've got right thumb rest and left joystick. So what that basically means on a Quest 3, if you can see where the two buttons are on your controller, just to the right of that, there's a... well, or the left of it, which depending on which controller you're using, there's a slightly slanted bit, and if you rest your thumb on there, and then the opposite stick, or the opposite controller, in this case, the left one, so we've got the right thumb rest and the left joystick, you can then use up, down, left and right, while you've got your thumb on that rest, to emulate the D-pad functionality. So in this case, hold it down and press right, and you switch from first person to third person. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. I like that function, at least anyway. Whether you're going to use it or not, totally up to you. Obviously the controls slightly change, the camera angles slightly change, as you can see, and we've got the key prompting to press things there. But if we change the camera angle, we don't necessarily see the oh, okay, we did there a bunch of books. Now, the last time Megiddo made one of these mods, he did make it so... I just pressed the left grip. So that actually was a little bit more prominent. So I expect this will be a little bit more improved over time. But as I say, right on the D-pad to switch to first person and third person. Third person's a little bit easier to spot things that you need to investigate, as you can see. So it's been called investigation mode, and there is support for every single one of the game mechanics that Megiddo has come across in his bit of a playthrough. And if you do wish to recenter both grip buttons, so if we just kind of deliberately just screw off somewhere, both grip buttons will recenter your view. Okay, now there's a couple of tips and tricks as well. So the interaction icons, as you've seen, might not be the greatest thing to see, but you just press A when you think something you can interact with is in range, as you saw just here, and it tells you there's a coat and several hats. So you can interact with things if you know there. If you're unsure, switch to investigation mode, and then you can see for definite. Now, some interactable objects that are not on the character's eye level can only be interacted with by raising or lowering where the character looks. This is done with the right stick up and down, and for that you need to switch to third person. As you can see, the head going up and down. Is this going really good, do you think? Well, he seems to think so. So if you switch to first person, you can't really tell, although the character does appear to still do it anyway. As you can see, the head position changes. So yeah, if there's some things you can't interact with, just change to third person and you're away. Now, this game is meant to be third person, fixed camera angles. We have now got this in first person, and there are a couple of known issues. So be careful when you go up the stairs if you're not supposed to. After a cutscene, the character can sometimes be moved automatically upstairs instead of down, and you'll get stuck. And the trick there is to quit without saving and then reload the save. There is a bug in displaying the map. So let's see how we pull up the map. There's a map. So this map looks absolutely an absolute clusterfuck. So what we do here is just press disable VR, and it's actually loads better. Although it looks a little bit closer in the headset, but on the monitor it looks fine. Re-enable VR, and it's a clusterfuck in both. That's just by the M key. But other than that, this looks like a really strong profile. A really, really strong profile. So I'm just going to have a wander around this house. Now, I'm not really here to progress with the story. This is just purely to show this game off to you guys, because this game has flown under many, many radars. But it didn't fly under mine. Oh, look at that. hold the grip button down, I can point. So the grip buttons, left grip button is inventory, right grip button is your documents. How about the triggers? Okay. Come on. You gonna light or what? Ah, there we go. Right, so let's just go through this door. We're in the shitter! Okay, well.
Oh, god damn.
Woo! Right, okay, so as you've just noticed, this game has no mercy for anybody. You stand around and wait around, the creature, the presence will not. So hence why that character is now dead, and I will have to start all over again. Well, not all over again, I've now got a new character. I've already lost 3 characters, and I've now only got 1 left after this one, so we better make sure we don't die. Okay.
The door was open. Were they waiting for me?
So that blasted intro has just cost me a character. So let's go and have a look around this house. This game is absolutely amazing. It is absolutely an amazing game if you do have the time to play it. It is pretty cheap last I looked, and this is such an immersive experience. That bit just was absolutely terrifying, honestly, it really was, because I forgot what was happening, and then when I realised what was happening, it frightened the absolute pants off me. So I'm just going to wander around the house blindly and probably end up losing the remainder of my characters. I'm not.
Ugh, what a nasty smell.
Yeah, and I'm not standing here like somebody's done a what's that noise? Uh-oh. Woo! Okay, right, so the last time a character died, the game crashed on me. So as a warning, that is a bug. I would advise, if that does happen, then you will need to disable VR when you get to the new character select screen and pick your new character. Well, I'm not doing very well in this game so far, but the whole idea is to show this as a
Why is the door open?
A sort of Resident Evil clone. And the one thing I didn't do, if you noticed, well, you don't see it as much here, when you get close to a door like this, you'll see the icons flash up. A will open the door. However, if there is something on the other side, an ear icon will pop up and you can listen to what is on the other side, which is what I missed just, and the monster inside killed me. So if you see the ear icon pop up, then you need to watch out. We can go up in third person. Now this is just the very first version of this profile. I believe it was only available quite recently. Lucky for me, I'm one of the first people, I think, to have checked it out and given it a go. And so far, I am very, very impressed with this. Oh, I think we might have one of those bits. No, I'm not going through that door. Something was making my heart pound. Now there are puzzles like this. Well, puzzles in this game, like in Resident Evil. And like I say, you have to have your wits about you to get around. Thankfully, we keep all the documents and everything that we found. And we just need to continue and carry on where I'd originally left off. Unfortunately, it's been that long since I've played, I can't remember where I left off. So we're just going to explore and probably die horribly. This is creepy as fuck, this is. I believe you can actually hide in certain places as well. If I wanted to, I would fit under this table. So you can actually go and hide in certain places if need be. We go outside. We can go outside. Can we just like jump over the ledge and like never return? Well, this is a town that you're in. Doesn't look very busy, does it? Ah. I suppose we better go back inside. Now, if you are looking for this game, I'm sure you can find this very cheap on places like Instant Gaming or CD Keys. I'm not sure how much it is currently on Steam, but very likely it's not too expensive on there. But if you're into games that are haunted houses... Oh, where's my character gone? Oh, he's over there. This could be one you need to check out. I heard some voice then. I'm not trusting this monster. Or this ghost. It's already had most of me guys. But playing in first person or this, it really does change how you perceive the game, and the scares are so much more intense. I will have to definitely come back and give this a bit more of a solid playthrough. Well, that's where my character died last time. I don't think we're going to go in there this time. Let's switch back to first person. And we're in the room next door. Where the heart rate is pounding. Well, I wonder where everybody is in this house. They emptied out Judah's wardrobe, so now I would fit inside. Well, there's a ghost next door. Oh. Little Julia Scouts medals, I'm so proud of her. Well, I'm not really seeing anything else in here. Thankfully that freak isn't coming out to say hi. And you do have to be very careful here. You go into a door and there's something in here that you don't want to see. Let's go into exploration mode. Oh. A puzzle. There's a puzzle revolving around that, then, is there? Ah, yet there's a piece missing. Okay, well, we'll come back to that another time. Not this time. Okay, well, I can't really see this ending any other way apart from me being dead, really. But if you do like this video, then please give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more VR related content on the channel, and any comments that you want to make, please post them in the comment section below. I'll respond to every single comment. Otherwise, I would like to say thank you for watching. This is Headset VR playing Song of Horror in UEVR with an amazing first person profile. This is just so immersive. It really is so immersive like this. And it just feels so oppressive as well. Oh God. See through the windows. That was intimidating, that was. I mean, this game was quite creepy in third person, this was, but now it's just on a whole new level. This is a whole new level, this is. Well, this game definitely has left me gobsmacked. It really has, boy. How good it is as first person. That noise, is there something in it? like for far too long. Oh, there's somebody out there. Help! Help! Come and help me! I'm trapped in a haunted... Oh, well, he went quick, didn't he? Well, I don't think I'm going to get any help in here. Right, well... Okay, I think, well... We've given you a bit of a showcase. I'm not going to go too much into gameplay, because although the scares in this game aren't scripted, it isn't a linear game, which is what makes this so good. I don't want to spoil any of the encounters that you can potentially have. I mean, you've seen a few that I've had so far, which were fairly unpleasant in all honesty. I would rather not have another one. We'll see if we can save a character for this.
The door! It is opening!
Get out! Get out! Get out!